Doing this again.
All right, let's keep it going. Although first and foremost, a big shout out to the biggest of Billies, Big William. Thank you for the 6 months on the primer. I hope you were doing well. Let's finish up this season. Season 1. Again, in terms of the standings right now, I am only the second worst team in the AL because the Athletics absolutely suck. For you guys, 40 wins. You are the worst team in the National League. Billy, that's what we do around here, man. Almost all franchise, almost all the time. So, let's go ahead and get through this season. I mean, the draft was the big moment. Right now, just rooting for both of our teams to continue to lose. Lethal. For the most part, I've been okay. For the most part. Let's see. September call-ups. We'll just have both rosters be auto-fixed. That's fine. So the White Sox on 48 wins. 2 games above Oakland. For you guys on 55 wins, a game above the Giants. So it is looking like I am going to win this tank bowl between the two of us. Although, of course, that doesn't guarantee a first overall pick. So let's get through this season here and see what happens. We'll go up to the final stretch here. We got AAA ball clubs not making the playoffs. Both AA ball clubs made the playoffs, though. Hate the script bump in the menu. Yeah, it's not great, but just trying to get used to it. 59 wins for the White Sox. I am not going to be able to out-tank the Athletics. And for you guys, 62 wins. So it is pretty much confirmed that I have managed to out-tank you in Season 1, which is nice. As we finish up with our first regular season, the White Sox go 62-100, while the Rockies go 63-99. So I almost screwed myself, but by 1 game, the Rockies were better than the White Sox in Season 1, which is pretty damn funny. So in terms of the playoffs, AL side, you get Texas and Toronto in the wild card, Kansas City and Seattle. Hey, Seattle made the playoffs. Look at that. Love to see it. Tampa and Houston, the top 2 seeds. On the NL side, it is Atlanta and Arizona in the wild card, St. Louis and Pittsburgh, with the Dodgers and Phillies making their way through. So what I want to take a look at here, couple of different things, honestly. I mean, standings-wise, wasn't too much to really worry about. I mean, we know that the Rays did really, really well. Let's take a look at some player stats here for the season. We'll start off with Chat's Rockies. So in terms of position players, Nolan Jones led the team in hits, as you would hope. And actually, here, let's just go through. So catcher, 10 home runs, 47 RBIs, the 669 OPS for Diaz. Again, he is just a stopgap player for you guys at this point. First base was Elhus Montero, who also not great, but he's a 67 overall. What do you expect? Second base, Brendan Rodgers, 15 home runs, 51 RBIs. Was going to be one of your better players, and indeed was. Kyle Datras behind him didn't do too much. Third base, Ryan McMahon, 19 home runs. It's not bad. You'd almost suspect more for him, though. Only a 693 OPS. I mean, he was power or bust this season. Shortstop, Tovar, one of your future players. Again, not much of a power hitter. Not much of a hitter at all. He actually really, really sucked at the plate. Seems to be a theme. Let's see, if you guys in left, Sean Bouchard was the starter for most of the season. Had 17 home runs, 713 OPS, 115 strikeouts. It's not bad for a 70 overall. Brenton Doyle, outfielder extraordinaire. Yeah, hit just 561 at the plate. Absolutely abysmal. He is all defense. And then between Charlie Blackmon, Nolan Jones, and Chris Bryant, I mean, 46 home runs between the three of them. Obviously, Nolan Jones was easily the top player for your Rockies this season. Chris Bryant is cooked. He's cooked. For pitchers, capping out at 9 wins for Gomber and Quantrill each, which, not ideal. Not ideal. 121 strikeouts for Peter Lambert. You had Quantrill finishing technically under a 3 ERA. Not bad. Sensatella to 3.3. Obviously, pitching was never going to be a strong suit this season either. 2.4 WAR for Quantrill. Team low of a 4.10 FIP. Not bad. For the relievers, Jalen Beeks had the most innings pitched. Quite a few holds for Kinley and Curtis. Honestly, your bullpen was pretty good. Given that only 2 of them are at least a 70 or above, bullpen was pretty good. Although Justin Lawrence as the closer, 7 blown saves. Yeah, Lawrence not so much. That's someone you could probably look to move on from. So overall, not a surprising season in any way. For the White Sox, 16 home runs for Max Stassi. That's not bad. It's okay. 727 OPS. Technically didn't have a first baseman, I guess, for the back half of the season. Nicky Lopez was pretty bad at the plate. Or yes, it will be the same rules. Mr. Moustakas, 14 home runs. God, Yohan Moncada, what happened to you? What happened to you? Getting outplayed by Mike Moustakas. Paul DeYoung was tragic. Holy hell. Jimenez, 15 home runs. Jimenez was one of my better players, and that's not a good thing. Luis Robert, 25 home runs at least. Samuel Zavala did okay. Limited appearances. And then both Fletcher and Sheets, not all that impressive. Not great. Not great is the best way to put it. My pitching absolutely sucked. Yeah, this was a bad time. In terms of the award winners, you have Corey Seager taking home AL MVP ahead of Judge and Jose Altuve. And in the NL, Acuna wins the NL MVP even over Shohei Ohtani. It's back-to-back for Acuna. Cy Young winner Luis Castillo in Seattle. Christian Javier and Shane McClanahan. On the other side, Zach Gallen. Samantha Ohtani. Runner-up for both MVP and Cy Young. Rough break. Batting title, Edouard Julien with a 329 average. Damn. Pride of Canada. Other side, Shohei did win the batting title, though. That's insane. Reliever of the year, Andres Munoz. So no real surprise to see that Seattle made the playoffs. On the other side, Tanner Scott from Miami. 47 saves, 65 Ks. It's not bad at all. Still doing the one-time nuke. Potentially. AL Rookie of the Year, Brian Rochio. The Rochio. Way to go, Brian. I was rooting for Colt Keith. On the other side, Noel V. Marte for the Reds ends up winning Rookie of the Year. Sounds about right. That sounds about right. Let's see. Hank Aaron Award goes to Aaron Judge and Ronald Acuna. That sounds about right. Not too worried about Gold Gloves or Silver Sluggers, anything like that. So again, season 1 in the books. Because I was intrigued, I wanted to take a look at the top 100 prospects at the end of the season. And Jackson Holliday spent the entire year number 1 on the list. Colson Montgomery fell from 8 to 10. But you guys have Amador at 15, so that's not too bad. We each have a couple of players that are in the mix. Not bad, not bad. Shout out to Hurston Waldrop being the top pitcher. I do love the whole being able to sort by, okay, like, who's the best starting pitching prospect in baseball, which you guys have Chase Dollander at 7. I am a big fan of this option. Big fan. But, all right, let us find out how the playoffs are going to go. Oops. So let's see. Texas over Toronto, Kansas City over Seattle. You have Arizona over Atlanta and St. Louis over Pittsburgh in the wild card rounds. So Arizona, LA, St. Louis, Philly, Texas, Tampa, KC, and Houston. As we get to the championship series, it'll be Texas and Houston, Arizona and St. Louis. There is a chance for a World Series rematch. 2 sweeps on the AL side and 2 decisive Game 5s on the NL side. The St. Louis Cardinals in Season 1 have made the World Series. And they'll be playing the Houston Astros. The Cardinals in Season 1. I mean, Houston making it, no surprise, although Altuve is out. No surprise, of course, with Houston making it. But the Cardinals, I imagine they're going to get absolutely smashed here. But you never know. Maybe the sim engine feels differently. 1-1. St. Louis 1-1 away. Can they do it? No, they can't. Game 7. And the Houston Astros pull off the comeback. Houston has won the World Series in 2024. Worst case scenario. Jose Abreu, World Series MVP. And in terms of postseason MVP, Paul Goldschmidt led the way. Yordan Alvarez on the other side with 8 home runs up to the World Series for the Astros. So, Season 1 comes to a close. We are ready to move forward. Of course, a lot of staff decisions are coming up. We know that was bound to happen. In terms of retired players, I lost Brian Shaw and Martin Maldonado, which is fine. Any, surprising retirements? Verlander's gone. No real surprise there. Charlie Morton. Lance Lynn's gone. Austin Barnes. You guys actually didn't lose anybody to retirement. And obviously the free agent list would have seen a lot of changes, including Mad Bum retiring. No Hall of Famers in 2024. Fair enough. So that brings us to staff management, which, again, I'm going to get first crack here, having had a losing, oh, you lost High Black. I totally missed that then. He was listed further up than I thought. I need a new manager. I need a new manager. And the question is, who the hell am I going to go for? They still haven't fixed it as to where you can frickin' sort by attribute grade, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, Dino's all right, but +3 drag bunting, who gives a shit? Caleb Adams. Kevin Cash has some negatives to him. Well, again, I still wish I could sort by A's instead of finding, Ring way the hell down here, but what are you going to do? I don't know why they haven't changed that yet. That's kind of insane to me. Kiki Patterson would make my team a hell of a lot better at bunting. And we'll go back to the top. I'm going to go for Caleb Adams. +3 power. Caleb, I would love for you to be my new manager. Please and thank you. I need to give you more money. Let's go up to $30 million over 4 years. I'm going to give you even more money than that. Let's do $32.5 million over 4 years. There we go. I also needed a third base coach. We're going to hold off on firing anybody, by the way. We're only going to replace people once their deals are up. So I'm not going to fire Marcus Thames or anything like that. Just a way to deal with the mistakes of the past. So Max Burks isn't that bad. Andreas Novoa. Let's see if we can get Max Burks in here. Cody, no, there were no generational players in that last draft. The draft was bad. So for you guys, you also need a new manager and a new first base coach. So let's be honest. I mean, you could compete with me for Adams, but there's also Paco Figueroa, who's not that bad either. And we're not going to compete with one another on this front. So see if you guys can bring in old Paco. Might as well, again, make him a max offer as well, just to try and make sure we get these freaking improvements with our staff. So you got Paco, and you also need a new first base coach, which could end up being Andreas Novoa. So a couple of staff upgrades for the two of us if those two deals go through. For you guys, in terms of the exclusive free agent negotiations, Diaz, Bard, and Stallings. I mean, obviously, you're not going to give a qualifying offer to any of these guys. Diaz actually ended up getting worse. Yeah, you guys might as well let Diaz go at this point. Bard and Stallings, for that matter. Yeah, you're good to let those three go. For me, I already know I'm letting go of all these guys, too. Yeah, all of them can go. That is fine by me. Angels or White Sox as franchise team. Go for the Angels. And trade Mike Trout. Free Mike Trout, damn it. Paco Figueroa elected to go to the Orioles instead of the Rockies. You did bring in Andreas Novoa, though. So that is still a managerial position that needs to be filled for you guys. And honestly, it's probably going to end up being Dino. Good old Dino. Dino Spumoni. See if you guys can end up with him. And we'll see what happens from there. Caleb Adams rejected my offer as a manager and went to the Padres instead. So neither one of us are having too much luck on the managerial front. Gary Pettis. Oh, Frank, the screen's bright as shit. Yeah. It's a hell of a decision on their part. All right, Max Burks is on as my third base coach. So both of us still waiting for the responses from our hopeful new managers. So let's see what we have here. Juan Soto, the gem of free agency. We'll start off with Chad here. In terms of arbitration, again, there's Dakota Hudson, who was bad and is going to continue to get worse. Justin Lawrence has dropped by 2 overall. And he was also pretty bad last year. I mean, we've already looked at these guys multiple times. We pretty much know that all of them were pretty shit. I mean, Peter Lambert was okay-ish. He does get a lot of strikeouts, at least. $2.3 million for Peter Lambert. I mean, he could keep getting better. You got plenty of surplus. I mean, you might as well look to bring in Peter Lambert again. He's decent. You at least need names. So, in terms of that arbitration offer, there you go. And then Austin Gomber. Someone sent Deke money for packs. He got 1 gold and 25 packs. That sounds about right. I opened all my pre-order stuff and got absolutely nothing. So, let's see. In terms of tendering contracts, let's see. Obviously, you guys want to keep Dollander around. Ryan Rollison, no reason to not keep him around either. 1-year deal, keep it cheap. Michael Prosecki, no reason not keep him around. Chris McMahon, I mean, for the most part, that's what this is going to be. Just renewing a lot of deals. Feltner. You might as well just, again, look to keep him on a dirt cheap salary. Just as a depth option. Jeff Criswell, same thing. Nick Bush is terrible. Davis is terrible. Jaden Hill is also terrible. So you can let go of those guys. For relievers, Jake Bird. Jake Bird. He was actually okay last year. Might as well keep him instead of the outright renewable contract. Let's go down. You might as well keep Jake Bird around. Might get worse, but it's a one-year deal. Riley Pint could get a little bit better, maybe. I mean, again, you might as well just keep him around. Let's keep some of these guys around just to still have proper depth. Look, Gavin Hollowell. 6'7", big boy, but might as well let go of him. Evan Justice, not that good. Nick Kaufman. You guys did inherit a lot of relievers. Matt Koch. Might as well. He was in AAA last year. Hopefully he doesn't end up being your closer this year. Catcher, Drew Romo. You obviously have to hold on to. Willie McIver. Might as well keep a hold of him. First base. Grant Levine. Might as well. Second base. Get rid of everybody. Third base. Sterling Thompson. Hold on to him. Barnable. Oops. Hold on to him as well. Shortstops. Obviously, you guys are going to hold on to Amador. Guy is your future. Ritter sucks. I mean, he's just going to keep getting worse. So hold on to one Braylon Wimmer. And Carreras also just kind of sucks. Can hold on to Fernando. Didn't get the memo that people like dark mode. You wouldn't think it would be worth, the conversation. You'd think developers would just be like, hey, dark mode. People like dark mode, but apparently not. Paulie, what's going on, by the way? All right, obviously hold on to Zach Veen, Jordan Beck. All right, so for the most part, you guys are pretty much good to go. You got to get Zach Veen onto the 40-man. You also need to get Starlin Thompson and Jordan Beck onto the 40-man to not lose these guys to the Rule 5. So you are definitely going to have a younger team next year, but some guys with promise and potential are finally going to start breaking through. We'll focus on free agency here as well. So, in terms of free agents, here is who is available. And again, chat, how this works is we each get one major target. Pitcher, position player, that's it. But you get one major player to target. So you got to pick and choose carefully, right? So here are the players that are available at catcher right now. You have young Drew Romo, 23 years old. If you don't want to risk him being the starter this upcoming season, 29-year-old Danny Jansen is available. Not great at the plate last year, to say the least. Outside of that, it's like Gary Sanchez, Francisco Miella. Of course, you had Elias Diaz on the team, but he wasn't that good either. So we also have the Rule 5 coming up. But yeah, there aren't going to be too many great options unless you want to play Romo or pay Danny Jansen. First base, you got nobody at the moment. You do have Kevin Burns in the system, but he's more of a third baseman naturally. So first base options, Pete Alonso, but he is 30. Goldschmidt's 37. Christian Walker's 34. Josh Bell's 32. So, I mean, obviously Pete Alonso, but the question is, how good do you want to be? Like, Alonso is still a very good option at the plate. How good do you want to be? How early do you want to be good? That's the question there. Second base, you do have Brendan Rodgers as a filler player. So probably not worth paying Gleyber Torres. Brandon Drury's there too, and then Rosario's 29. So probably not getting a second baseman for you guys. Prospects, I believe, still typically don't end up showing up here. They show up in spring training. Unless they fix that. At third base, again, for now, you guys have 30-year-old Ryan McMahon. Didn't have a great year at the plate last year. Bregman's 31. 26 home runs, 120 RBIs. He was still very, very good. Muted, good to see you, by the way. How goes it? And you got 31-year-old Matt Chapman as well. Also still pretty good at the plate. You could argue those aren't the changes that you need. Shortstop, good old Willie Adames. The Adams. The Willie Adams. Got a snap. Willie Adames. Muted, I am feeling much better. Much better. Willie, 33 home runs, 101 RBIs. Sub 800 OPS, but definitely still has some pop. But, again, you have Tovar at shortstop, who you definitely want playing. So, probably not the change to make there either. In left, I mean, you got Sean Bouchard and some younger options. But in terms of free agents, 32-year-old Teoscar Hernandez, JD Martinez, Verdugo. No great options. Center field, again, you'll be looking at somebody younger. And there's really nobody here that you'd want to pay the money to, like Harrison Bader maybe, because he's only 30. So obviously for position players, the big gun is Juan Soto. At 26 years old, it's Juan Soto. He is fantastic. He is going to be expensive as all hell. We are talking nearly a max contract. Max contract. Actually, his ideal salary is $27 million for 1 year. A max contract is now $40 million a year. Not to mention there's the qualifying offer on him from the Yankees. But you have Nolan Jones and Wright, so you'd have to play one of them not in a natural position. Aside from that in right, Santander, Tyler O'Neill. So that's kind of the big question. And then, of course, for pitchers, you do need a closer. Justin Lawrence was terrible. You got the reliever of the year, 30-year-old Tanner Scott. Clay Holmes at 32. Paul Sewald. Jose Leclerc. Kenley Jansen. So, I mean, you do have a couple of decent closers. In terms of outright relievers, 32-year-old Jeff Hoffman. Phil Matone. And then for starters, Corbin Burns at 30 years old. Not bad at all. Blake Snell out there as well. Max Fried, Shane Bieber. So it starts to drop off a little bit from there. But, and again, in terms of pitching, Quantrill, German Marquez, who might not be back, Herman Marquez. Young pitching staff. And of course, you could always use another good bullpen arm. So, chat, that is the decision. Is you need to decide what names you want to see on a poll to vote for in terms of a target. So let's see it. Let's see it. Actually, I'll give you guys time to deliberate while I set up my roster here in terms of arbitration and all that stuff. So you got a little bit of time to deliberate. Nisner's out. Nicky Lopez is out. Mendick is out. Phillips. If I can keep Gavin Sheets, I probably should. So I will see if I can hold on to Gavin Sheets. Yeah, the rest of the D potentials can go. Michael Kopech was absolutely terrible. So was Woodford and Chris Flexen. So honestly, I'm going to let him go. No point in keeping him just to keep him. I mean, he was bad. And then in terms of the prospects, gotta re-sign these dudes if I can. I can bring Corey Lee back. That's fine. So again, I am intrigued to see what chat elects to do. We'll revisit in one moment. Can't win if you can't score. That's true. But the big question is for chat right now, it's, are you guys trying to win? That's the big question. Are you trying to win? And if you get a Juan Soto, does he make you too good? That's the question. Giving up on NHL content. No. I mean, I'm still working on the custom roster. It's just taking forever. I don't think I'll ever fully give up NHL content, but I do very much enjoy playing other games a lot. So, but if that's what you're holding out hope for, patience, it will happen eventually. I promise. Let's see, Samuel Savala. So I'm gonna sign anybody that doesn't have a D potential at this point. Even Dominic Fletcher, just because I can get you for cheap as all hell. Even Oscar Colas. I mean, screw it, you're cheap as shit. 24 wasn't such a letdown. Guarantee it would have been streamed more. That too. And if EA's provided rosters weren't so bad. And if I wasn't stubborn enough to just be like, all right, fuck it, I'm not going to use my rosters. I'm just going to use Fassies all the time. Which is probably what I'm going to do for next year. So, there is that. All right, let's see. Drew Thorpe. Got Noah Schultz. All right, chat. Getting real close to me asking you who the names are that are being deliberated upon. Do we want to do one pitcher, one position player? Is that what we used to do, or was it just one player? I could have sworn it was just one player, not one of each. I might be wrong, though. It has been a bit. All right. Indeed, muted. Indeed. They fixed the draft. It was one of each. If you guys want to do one of each, we can do one of each. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that if you want to do one of each. It's fine by me. Let's see. I just need to finish adding players to my 40-man. Get Oscar Colas onto the 40-man. I want to get Jared Kelly. I think one would just be better. I mean, that would be... it would make certain decisions a little bit more difficult. I'll give you that. And I'm not too upset about losing Kai Bush. So, one more look through here. Let's see. Was it one of each, though? I don't think it was. Maybe it was, but just one of each. I don't know if that sounds right. Even Rule 5, it was one of each. All right. Chat, I need to know, then. Who are the names? Who are the names that you're interested in? Just one singular player to really make chat go for each other's throats, right? I need to know the names. All right. Let's see. Let's see. So in terms of pitchers, I am seeing Snell. I am seeing Scott. I am seeing Bieber. Let's see. Saw Snell. I saw Walker Buehler mentioned, or at least questioned. Yasmani Grandal was mentioned for a position player. We had Bieber on the list. Corbin Burns was also mentioned. All right. So, in terms of a pitcher, these are the 5 names you guys will be voting on. These are the names. All right. In terms of starting pitchers, Corbin Burns, 89 overall at 30 years old. Still pretty damn solid. Still, of course, getting nearly 200 strikeouts a season. He is still Corbin Burns. There's Blake Snell. Only pitched 50 innings last year for the Cubs. And in those 50 innings, he was actually pretty good. His defense let him down quite a bit. So he's coming off of a really weird season. Shane Bieber. Looked to have had a very solid season. He was pretty good. Walker Buehler was also mentioned as a potential starter. 3.34 ERA last year with the Dodgers. Really, none of those starting pitchers are all that bad. Buehler, you're looking at about $9 million per season. Bieber, you're looking at $24 million. Snell, $20 million. Corbin Burns, $19.4 million. And of course, there's the one reliever as well, the reigning reliever of the year, Tanner Scott from the Marlins, had 47 saves last year, only 4 blown. And he was really, really solid. And Tanner Scott looking at about $13 million. So for your one pitching option, it will be one of those 5 that you look to target. The question is, who will it be, chat? Poll is up now. Refresh if it didn't pop up for you. And then we'll talk about position player and the names that I saw mentioned. And we'll talk about position player. In the meantime, I need to double check my roster really quickly. Could go for a catching stopgap. I mean, I'm going to be struggling to put together a roster pretty much no matter what. I'm going to be struggling to put together a roster no matter what. I could have sworn free agents, we only did one big signing and then one of each for the Rule 5. But damn it, whatever. We'll do one of each here. It looks like Walker Buehler is going to win this vote. Looks like it. You did manage to sign everybody you drafted. We both did. All right. I think we can call that vote. Matthew, yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Going once. Going twice. I think we're calling it. Walker Buehler is going to be the target for a pitcher. Given that he's 30, might as well be about a 3-year deal. Give him a player option for that 3rd year. And we'll go max interest, which makes it $9.3 million a year. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So Buehler is a target there. Now, in terms of position player, I saw 3 players mentioned. The first player is Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso, 30 years old, is still Pete Alonso at the plate. However, well, only $14 million for contract. It's not too bad. I also saw Juan Soto mentioned, who is very much still Juan Soto. He wants $36 million a year. Nearly a max contract. And the last position player that I saw mentioned was Yasmani Grandal, who's a 36-year-old switch-hitting catcher Even if you were joking, he was up there, and honestly, he was pretty good last year. So the question is, who will the position player target be? Will it be Soto? Will it be Grandal? Will it be Alonso? Or none of the above? Do you think you should just hold the fort, not sign anybody because you don't want to make the team too good right now? That poll is now live. So there you go. We'll see what Chad elects to do. And for me, did it show you instead of us? It might have. Yeah, it did. Good eye. So for Walker Buehler, it was a 3-year deal. Player option. And yeah, same thing. So there you go. So let's see. It's a close race between Alonso and none of the above. We'll see what Chad elects to go for. For me, I have no idea what the hell I want to do here, because I don't necessarily want to make my team better. But I definitely need some stop gaps. I'm still going to have Max Stassi there. Jefferson Quiero is almost good to go. I outright do not have a first baseman at a major league level. I mean, I desperately need a first baseman. I guess technically Gavin Sheets could play first. It's a tough call. It looks like none of the above might be the vote here from chat, just to say, hold on. Go for a pitcher and have that be it. Looks to be... We're going about it. Joey Votto was just mentioned. A little bit too late to get him onto the vote, but... Is Joey Votto there? He is there. He is free falling. Didn't even play last year. Nobody actually signed him. So, looks like none of the above is going to win for chat's vote. So the only target is going to be Walker Buehler. For myself, it's a big question of just how much better do I want to make this team in a short amount of time. I mean, Danny Jansen's not even that good defensively, and he wasn't great last year. Could go for Pete Alonso, but I am worried about making my team too good too quickly. Honestly, I think I'm probably going to look at holding off for the most part here. Now it's just not the time to make my team too good. I don't want to go with too good of a starter. And again, too good of a starter is not that bad, but honestly, I'm going to hold off entirely. I'm going to go with my gut and hold off on trying to sign somebody outright. So this is going to be a really interesting free agent period for the two of us. I'm intrigued to see how this plays out.